Nasıl anlatsam kalbimde neler oynar kıvrak eline kıvrımdan gözüyle yalan kalbim bağlandı aşklarının eline oynar kıvrak eline kıvrımdan gözüyle yalan kalbim bağlandı aşklarının eline. Good. Wow. Parev, Paul, Esoen, Hayastan, Gahaskanak, Ese Arsun, Marsubian, host of the Papa Sub Says show. And what I just said in Armenian was, Lord Thomas. Hold on, my daughter's calling me. Yes, Laurie, you're on.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just screwed up and had to start over again. But it's on.
Oh.
It's on. Should be on. Bye. Well, I hope everybody can find me. That's my daughter, Lori. Wow, I really depend on her to get the word out and things, and then I always mess up somehow with trying to do the technical stuff and sending out a link ahead of time and then not getting into the right link. So hope you can find me, just YouTube/user Arson Marsubian or Papa Soup. Anyway, today's discussion on our show, and we're going to talk about this for the next couple of weeks, I think. And we're going to talk about Hayastan, which is the Armenian word for Armenia. And I want to talk about the Armenian culture and talk about what's going on in the world right now. It's very difficult times for the Armenian people. Because as you see, let's go back to the beginning. First of all, Armenia is at the base of Mount Ararat, the location of where Noah's Ark came to rest. So it goes back and has historical times to the beginning of the earth and the beginning of life as we know it today. And much of the land was in Turkey, but now it's in the eastern part of Turkey where it's located. And it's a landlocked country. We have Georgia to the north. We have Azerbaijan. Where is Azerbaijan? Azerbaijan is on the southwest part of that. And I said that Georgia's on the north. Azerbaijan is on the southwest. Karabakh is on the south by Iran, and in the southwest by Turkey. The only one of those countries not controlled by the Muslims is Georgia. See, Georgia was the second country in the region to accept Christianity in 326 CE. Armenia was the first nation to accept Christianity as a national religion. And since that time, the Muslims have wanted to destroy the Christians. So what we see today going on today with ISIS and Al Qaeda and the battles that are going on, and the Western media talks about that it's just a war and civil war and battles. But if you really look deep, you'll see that it is ethnic cleansing the Muslims to the Christians. And so this has been going on for centuries. Now, the country, let's see, another big event. Well, the first big event was the genocide of 1915. Most of the Armenian history, most of the things that we talk about are all related to that genocide in 1915, the Turkish, where they systematically put young men in the military for the First World War. And then they arrested and executed the clergy and leaders of the communities, leaving just the women and children, which they then took the land, took the homes, through forced marches and murders, rape, killings, try to annihilate the Armenians, killing 3.5 million. That's what caused the diaspora. There's many of them, including my dad, my mom, their families, left Armenia to find a new world, to find a new hope. As young teenagers, they got out of the country. They escaped death. So I'm fortunate to be here in America. I love this country. It's been good to our family. It's been difficult. We worked hard. They did a lot of difficult things, but they did what they had to do to survive. Some went to Argentina, South America. A lot of the Armenians fled over the mountains into Europe, settling in France. So we have colonies of Armenians all around the world, much like the scattering and persecution of the Jewish people, of God's people. So it's no accident that we pull together the Armenian church, the cultural stability of the Armenian people is in the church. It provided political leadership as well as religious leadership. And it's been the one thing that the Armenian people have hung on to is our faith in Christ and our churches. Now, another big event that happened in Armenia that brought the world's attention to this little landlocked country in what was at the time the Soviet Union. It's 1988. It's a massive earthquake in Armenia. And since a lot of Armenia is mountains and valleys, high mountains, highest peak is over 14,000 feet. 25,000 people died in that earthquake. Thousands more were injured. Now, the interesting thing about that, and this is my theory, nobody else's that I've heard of, but you have to look at what happened. See, after the earthquake, 1988, the country that came to the Armenians' aid quicker, with more equipment and people and aid than anybody else, was the United States of America. Our Red Cross, our military. This little unknown country at the time, the world now focused all of its attention on this little teeny landlocked country called Armenia. Historically, see, being part of the Soviet Union, which the philosophy was of communism, that the rest of the world didn't care about them, that they had to take care of themselves, that the big government would take care of all of their needs. Everything that would ever happen could be taken care of by the government. But the earthquake exposed that lie. See, the last country and the last people to come to the aid of the Armenians in that devastating time was Russia. The rest of the world was sending aid people to help humankind. So I believe that God orchestrated that to bring attention to Armenia and to bring an exposure to the big lie that communism could take care of everybody for all things. Within the next 3 to 4 years, the Soviet Union had started to dismantle. It was up. Perestroika came about. It's an interesting time in history. Go back and look and study that particular time. From the 88 and the earthquake, in 1991, after the start of the collapse of the Soviet Union, Armenia declared its independence. 1991. What a day. Small little country, a lot of mountains, a lot of land, the land mass about 1/7 the size of Maryland. Not a huge, huge country, but a very proud people. And they're happy to have their own land, their own country, their own culture. And so it started. And now, during that time when they're declaring their independence and looking for borders, you got Azerbaijan and the Karabakh, people around them fighting for the land because of the oil. See, the oil pipelines go through the border of Azerbaijan and Armenia. And Azerbaijan was trying to cut them off and did for years. And there was a war over that territory, that battle. And the Karabakh were a small nation and people, and they decided to join Armenia. They had a larger population than Azerbaijan. But Azerbaijan is protected by its Muslim brother and sister nation, Turkey. Now, this current event that happened a few weeks ago or last week, it was on social media, it was around, said that the war had started again between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Well, looking at foreign press and following up on what actually happened, it seems like there was a border skirmish between the two countries, military, each losing soldiers to death and to wounded, each claiming that the other started and broke the truce that exists between the two countries. Now, the thing that caused the most stir was that the president of Turkey went on national television in his Congress and Assembly and stated and accused Armenia of aggression and said that if the aggression continued, that they would side with their brothers in Azerbaijan. And the quote, finish the work of our grandfathers, the Armenians. In other words, Turkey, even though they've been a denier of the Holocaust and of the genocide of 1915, and never acknowledged that it happened. First genocide of the 21st century. And because of that genocide going unattacked and unquestioned by the world, Hitler, atrocities against the Jews was predicated on the fact that who today remembers the Armenians? So the two are linked, God's people. So now you have Iran, Muslim country, Turkey, Muslim country, Azerbaijan, Muslim country, Armenia, Christian. If they decide to attack Armenia, it could be another genocide unless a major force comes to their aid. Now, in another document that I read, it said that all this conflict, that the probability of another all-out war over Armenia is not likely, because Russia, of all countries, would probably side with Armenia and get in a battle with Turkey. And Turkey surely does not want a war, have to fight a war against Russia. And Russia is not too eager to get in a war with Turkey either. So this skirmish, this battle right now will calm down. Some kind of truce will be made without a major war, which is very, very heartening. So we ask people to pray. Pray for the country. Pray for his people. It's a difficult time. But it's a proud time to be an Armenian. In future shows, we're going to talk about the great culture, the contributions that the Armenians have made to the world, the positive side of what's happened since 1915. So I hope you'll tune in and listen and watch. Appreciate all of your comments. And this is Arsen Marsubian saying thanks for stopping in. We'll see you Thursday, 1 o'clock here. And again, this is Papa Soup saying good night. I love you. And let's go out with a little bit of more dancing music, a little happy time going on. Now, this is the beginning of how most songs go. It's a great, great clarinetist, Hacı Kazarian, off of the album, Richard Gopian's album, Kef Time Detroit. What great times these Kef Time sessions were. Also, I want to point out the cross that I'm wearing. This is the Armenian cross. Take a look. The design, structure. Hello. Richard Agopia singing, playing the wood. So much fun. Joy over the years. We'll cover some of that in the music, the culture later. Thank you for stopping in. Love you.